All right. So, first question was, what are some things to practice when balancing depression and running a business? As a man, because I always speak on a male's perspective, so I don't know if that's generic for women too, but when it comes to depression, I think you have to analyze who you are as a person first, whether you are and I speak about this yesterday as well, but whether you are a introvert, an extrovert, an ambivert, or an omnivert. Once you notice what type of person you are, then you can go ahead and tackle depression in a certain way. Because some people who are extroverts and they're depressed, you wouldn't even know that they're depressed because they're out here, they're hanging out, whatever it could be, and it's like they're wearing a mask. And those who are introverts, you wouldn't even hear from them because they're inside. They don't like being around people either. If you're an ambivert, such as myself, where I'm able to be, I'm more on the introversive side, but I could be an extrovert when called upon. We need time to heal and recharge, whatever the case may be. So I think analyzing yourself first in order to tackle the depression side. Now, running a business part of it, because business, half of it is when you're depressed on a business journey, whether you're an entrepreneur or working a 9 to 5, you entered it not having your mind right. And that's why I always state that if you're aspiring to be whatever type of entrepreneur, you got to have your mindset right prior to going into it. And that's only knowing and learning about the business prior to you entering it. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, you should learn about LLC or sole proprietorship or whatever the industry that you're going into. What are going to be the trials and tribulations? Kind of preparing your mindset for that, setting things up so you're not even if you fail, it's not a failure, it's actually a lesson learned, and then you can bounce back from it. But a lot of people don't do that. They don't do the studying. Therefore, they become depressed because they have no understanding of what's going on because they lack the preparation. But not to say that depression doesn't happen. You never know what happens in your entrepreneurship journey. It's up and down. But when it is down, you have to just go back to your why. And I think that's what will balance you out. When you become overwhelmed in life, you become overwhelmed just in general in life, but when it comes overwhelmed in your business, you forget about your why and why you started. So when that time does happen, you do become overwhelmed and you're stressed out, whatever it should be, go back to your why you originally started out. Then it'll balance out all the trials and tribulations because you'll be like, okay, this is why I started. This is where my end goal is at. And then, you just reverse engineer everything. And then you get to that level. I think you will gradually get out of depression. And if that doesn't work, I always say talk to somebody. It doesn't have to be a therapist. It doesn't have to be a psychologist. But express somebody or find out whatever your outlet is. So if you don't like talking to people, I'm not a people person, to the contrary of what people may think. I go to the beach, I skate, I go to a gun range, and I skydive. Those are my 4 things that I do for outlets for if I feel overwhelmed. So figuring that out is how you balance out everything. DG, what about you?
Bro, I agree with your answer 100%. I'm going to say on the depression side, I do agree, like bro said, find your outlet, find your happy place. I go to therapy. I have other outlets, but therapy is one of my favorite outlets. And after every session, I feel better and better. Feel me? So, I would definitely say therapy can be. It just depends on your budget and it depends on like what type of help you're seeking. But for me, therapy has done wonders. Like I feel like the Lord has come up every time I get done with therapy. And she be actually giving me solutions on how to deal with that shit later by myself when she's no longer around or how to avoid getting back in those spaces, period.
For sure.
You know everything about sports, you know everything about what weed is popping, what's designer, what's this and that, but you don't know shit about yourself. So a lot of you guys are just well-dressed vessels.